Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm so excited to show you these beautiful new supplies from our friends at 49 and Market. So today we're playing with the Curator's Meadow 12 by 12 papers and coordinating washi tapes. And yes, these all go perfectly with the Curator's Meadow 6 by 8 collection, the laser embellishments, and the postage washi from our previous webisode. But let's take a look at what we have in store for today. And we can begin with the 12 by 12 paper pack. Now this has 8 double-sided pattern papers plus a sheet of fussy cut images. And you can see the papers all down here on the front cover, but it's always fun to have a little flip through. So I'm going to turn over the front cover, and here you can see those fussy cut images. So from small to large, really useful elements in here. And then let's take a look at some of these pattern designs. So these are all a really nice sturdy 12 by 12 cardstock. Beautiful botanical elements. You've got birds, you've got moths and butterflies, you've got woodland creatures, and all kinds of really cool elements that have a nature vibe to them that 49 and Market just does so well. This is a favorite one of mine too. I think that's just lovely and something just very different, I think. Here's another gorgeous design, some more of those mushrooms, some text. Big, beautiful butterflies on here. Now the nice thing about all of these designs, so you've got a quite large pattern on one side. When you flip them over, you've got some really nice sort of faux texture designs. And I love how they each have a border at the bottom, and that's super easy just to trim off, and you've got an additional accent to use in your paper crafting. Now to go along, we also have something really special. Here we've got 2 different washi tape designs, 4 inches wide, so nice and wide, a lot of fun to play with these. The 2 designs you have are Curator's Meadow and Curator's Wings. So let me bring in these 2 pieces. I've just pulled off a snippet of each of these repeating designs and put them onto some white cardstock so that you can see. Absolutely stunning, and they are so much fun to work with. There's a lot that you can do with these. Now, one thing I also want to point out, they come in boxes that look like this, and you have an optional slide cutter on here. So that will be inside the box, and you just sort of clip it to the front of the box, and this means that you can put your roll of washi tape in there, thread it through, and use the slide cutter to just trim off as much as you might need. So also really useful and handy. Okay, so I've got a couple of projects to share with you today, and of course some demos as well. As you can see, we have a lot to explore, and I'm so glad you're here. Come play with us. This card features a combination of those gorgeous pattern papers and the Curator's Meadow washi tape, which I've adhered to a square chipboard piece to be the foundation for my card focal. Now, the chipboard square is 3 by 3/8 of an inch, and they come in a set from hot off the press. It looks kind of like this. And you've got these really nice sturdy chipboard elements. They come in lots of different shapes too, so circles and some squares with scallops and so on. Really fun and a great way to create a base or a foundation for a focal. Now it's super easy to place your washi tape onto one of these squares. So what I've done is already pulled off some of the washi tape from the roll, and all you need to do is simply position this down. So I pull off a piece that's slightly larger than my chipboard square, starting in the center, because it is a fairly large piece. Start in the center and kind of work my way around to really smooth out that washi. So take a look, it's so nice. Now all I need to do, flip it over, kind of make sure that all the corners are adhered on here. And then I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors and trim around the outside edges. Now I'm using a pair of old scissors. These are my glue and adhesive scissors. So they're not the best scissors that I have in my stash, but it's okay. So they work for glue and adhesive surfaces, cutting washi tape and so on. So I've got some of this done. And then come around here and then just trim this off right along the edges. Now you can also, if you're Short on time, just wrap this around to the back too. That does the trick as well. And then you've got your piece already covered. Now, for this one, I wanted to add some edging around the outside here. So I've just used my Jet Black Stays On ink pad. Now, it's really important because washi is a non-porous surface. You want to use a solvent-based ink pad, so not a dye-based ink pad, but something that will dry on a non-porous surface. And I'm just edging around all four sides to give a little bit of polish, I suppose you might say, to my piece. Let me make sure I get the lid back on that ink pad, and there you can see. Super simple to do and a great way to create a card focal element. So then for the rest of my card, I've also added washi tape just at the top and the bottom of the card front. Then I trimmed down a piece of that beautiful pattern paper to go on top. Now this is all one piece, so where you see this floral pattern on here and also this script here, well, that's all one piece that I've just placed right on top. Then comes my chipboard piece, plus some leaves that I die cut from the green section of one of the sheets of pattern paper. Now these dies are from the hot off the press leaves and stems die. I can show you this as well. I've got a couple of leaves on here. They're going different directions, and then the stems on here as well. So I've simply die cut those and added them on here. You make a really beautiful and easy accent, and they go perfectly with this Curator's Meadow collection. Then at the base, I have a paper flower and a couple of other leaves, small leaves. These are from the Tomato Posies pack, and I'm going to carefully bring this in. So you can see I've got lots of different sizes of blossoms. These are also from 49 in Market, and they come in lots of different colors, and we'll see some more in some other cards in today's webisode. And then I've got a dazzle down here at the bottom of the card front. So simple and easy. And I really do love the contrast of this pattern paper and that crisp black and white of the washi. I think that's a lot of fun. Makes a nice contrast. Then for my card inside, I have some more of this faux texture pattern paper, plus this Hugs word, also from the Script Dazzle set, and it's placed on one of the fussy cut elements from the paper pack. Now I've also got some strips of washi tape here. So to do this, all you need to do is just apply your washi tape onto a piece of white cardstock and then just run this through your paper trimmer, and you can create some really fun strips that can be used as borders or as I've done here on the inside of my card. You can also incorporate them into a collage as well. Super simple to do. And I've just used my paper trimmer to do that. So not only can you cut your washi tape with scissors to use with the chipboard elements and with your paper trimmer, but you can also die cut it. So let's take a look at an example of that. The leaves on this card use the same die we just saw on the previous card, and you can see that I've die cut these from washi tape. Now the trick with any kind of cutting with like a paper trimmer or cutting die is that you first place the washi onto cardstock. And in this case, I'm using some scrap white cardstock that I had in my stash. And that's going to add stability, and it allows the trimmer blade or the cutting blade to cut through cleanly so that you're not sort of trying to cut with a die something that's a little bit wispy and sticky and unstable. So start with a piece of white cardstock, whatever you've got in your stash. In this case, I've applied my Curator's Wings washi tape onto some white card, and then I can take my die and simply place this down. Now I've got a little bit of this hunky-dory low-tack tape on here. I do really recommend that you use this, so this will hold things in place. Now before I run it through my die cutting machine, a little trick. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add a little bit of double-sided tape on the back. So the double-sided tape I have looks like this. It comes in a slightly larger sheet, so maybe an A4, 8.5 by 11 size sheet. And I can cut it down into some smaller pieces with a pair of scissors. And then I'm going to just pull off this liner piece and place the double-sided tape just right on the back, right where my die is. And then flip this over, run it through my die cutting machine as normal. And then when I remove that, I will have a piece that's essentially like a sticker. So you can see here, it's that beautiful washi design. And then on the back, all I need to do is just pull that liner off and I can place it down. So I've essentially created a sticker that's going to make things a lot easier to adhere. And so that's what I've done for both of these leaves on here. Super simple to do. So back to the card itself, I've covered the card front with this beautiful pattern paper, and I'm taking advantage of the ruler border that's printed on the bottom of that sheet. So I've glued this whole piece down. This is all one piece of pattern paper. Beautiful collage. I love that soft blue color. Then I die cut the fancy quatrefoil background. That's from hot off the press. I die cut this from champagne glitter paper to create sort of a frame on there. And I'll show you this champagne glitter paper. It is so pretty and it really works beautifully to just add a little bit of sparkle and shine to a project. And of course that champagne color goes beautifully with that blue. Now the With Love is a script dazzle, and I've placed it on a cutout from the paper pack. And then I've added these flowers from the Ocean Jade Posies set, so also from 49 and Market. And the whole design, I think, has just enough sparkle and shimmer. It really complements the subtle colors of the paper, and of course that washi in there just adds a little pop of contrast with the black and white, and it goes so nicely with the black dazzles. Then for my card inside, I have a torn snippet of washi tape. So don't forget, it tears really nicely as well. So I've just torn a piece of this and then overlapped it with a piece of collage pattern paper from the paper pack. So all of these tickets and snippets that you see here, this is all one piece of that collage paper. And then I have just a cut strip of a second piece of pattern paper and another dazzle message on here. So a great way to incorporate that washi with your dies. Now, once I started die cutting with the washi tape, I thought I'd try a mini folder die. I love these and they're just so much fun to create. And I thought, oh, I wonder if I can make this out of that 4-inch wide washi. Well, you can. So the die that I'm working with is also from hot off the press. It's the mini envelope and gift card holder die. You've got two in here and I'm using this one. This one is slightly narrower and would also work perfectly. Let's take a look at the process here. So I've adhered some of that washi right onto a piece of that collage pattern paper. And then what I can do is take that die and simply position it down. Now the die is slightly wider with these flaps than that 4-inch wide washi, but since I've got this beautiful pattern paper on here, it kind of doesn't matter. Just need to position that down. Again, use some of that low tack tape and run it through my die cutting machine. And then I am ready to go. So here's my little mini folder. And of course, I've got one of the paper posies on here. This is from the Mango collection. A little bit of jute twine on there. And then when you open this up, you can see I've got a little message in here with a happy birthday dazzle. Now, of course, you can glue these flaps together to create a pocket, but I kind of like having everything expand out. And there you go. Now, one thing I would recommend when you're folding this, because it's a layer of washi and it's also some nice sturdy cardstock, is to use your bone folder to really score those edges on there. Super simple to do, and it creates a really fun little kind of gift envelope. I also did ink the edges with StazOn, and then again I've got that mango posy and leaves, a little bit of jute, and that's all glued down using the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue, so that's going to hold it in place really nicely. Our last card shows one of my favorite ways to use the washi tape, and all you need are alcohol markers, which is how I added some easy color onto this black and white design. So I'm using a variety of markers from the Tri-Blend line from Crafter's Companion. Now you definitely want to use alcohol markers for the same reason you want to use a solvent ink pad to edge the washi tape. Because the tape is a non-porous surface, it's important to have ink that won't smudge or smear. It just creates such a great look, and it is so easy to do too. So let me bring in a piece of this beautiful washi. Now I've adhered this onto some white cardstock for some stability, and then I can just pick whatever colors I want and start coloring. So if you're new to the tri-blend markers, now these are great. You're actually getting 3 pens in one. So you can see here, this is the orange blend. And if I flip this around, you can see I've got light, middle, and dark. So essentially 3 markers. There's 1, there's 2, and then here's 3. So I'm going to start with this tip since I've got it already out, and maybe just add a little bit of color right here on this flower. So it's just as simple as coloring in, and dries quickly so you don't have to worry about smudging or smearing. Now this was the dark tip. I'm going to come back with the light and do a little bit of blending in here. It just creates such a fun pop of color. It means that you can really customize your washi to whatever color project you're working on. So there's my blossom. Now I want to add some green for our leaves and stems. So this is the light green. And again, I'll start with the dark tip and just kind of edge in here a little bit. And then I'll come in with the middle and blend this out. So pretty, so easy to do. Now I've also got some foliage here, so while I've got this green pen in my hand, I'll just kind of come in and not fully color in the whole leaf part, but just kind of go along with some of those sketched lines on here. Again, just to add a little pop of color. Now the butterflies are a lot of fun to color as well, so let's see. I'm going to take my green turquoise, which I accidentally dropped in my acrylic ink, so that, or my acrylic paint, which is why I've got a little bit of brown on the pen. It's not going to hurt it. Kind of scuffle in again a little bit of this light color. I rarely put these markers away, which is probably why this one ended up with some paint on it. These are my go-to alcohol markers. And I love that you've got 3 colors in each pen. It saves some space, especially if you've got a kind of crowded crafting room like I do. It's nice to save some space by having more colors in one pen. And they last a long time. It's a super value. Okay, so there's my butterfly kind of colored in there. Let's see, I'm going to take, this is the light green blend. I'm going to go with the middle of this and put in some color in the butterfly center. So you can really do some detail coloring in here. You can also just use the pen to accent some of these other elements in here. So maybe, let's see, I'll take, this is the earth brown, and I'll go with that middle color and just accent some of the postmarks on here. Not coloring them in all the way, but just tracing around the outside edge. And that's going to give, again, a little bit of pop of color in here. You can also, let's see, grab this one and just kind of scribble in a little bit of color in here. This is a nice light color, so it's really only going to add a bit of color without kind of dominating the whole piece. So you can for sure color in the entire element if you want to, but you can also spot color some of those various elements as well. Lots of fun, and I think if you're like me and you find coloring in images to be really therapeutic and relaxing, this is a fantastic way to get a little bit of relaxation and also to add in some fun coloring, a different technique with your washi. Okay, so bringing our card back in here, we can take another look. And you can see that I've just simply covered this with pattern paper from the collection. Plus I've added in here this label. This is from the paper collection too. I've got a script dazzle on the top. And then I've got my washi piece just trimmed down as my card focal. A little bit of jute twine on there adds a nice soft touch as well. Then for my card inside, I've got some more of that gorgeous pattern paper. I have to say, I think this was my favorite sheet from the whole set. And I love that I'm able to use a nice big snippet of it for the inside of my card. I've got a cutout and then again a dazzle message here too. And that is our final card for today. So a big thank you to our friends at 49 and Market for this really outstanding collection. So much fun to work with. And hopefully you get a chance to check out the previous webisode that uses the other items from the curator's Meadow collection. A super big thank you to you for joining me today. We're so very glad that you're here, and we're really happy you're part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. Be sure to see the money saver on the right side of your screen at paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe too. We create 3 to 5 new videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.